Previously, I did a review on Kurtis Connor's Python, and I gave Python an unfavorable review. At the time of recording that review, I did not know that the way that that special was made was the leftover material that did not make the cut in his actual special, which was paywalled on his Patreon. Does that change my review of Python? Not really, just kind of contextualizes it. As an artist, if you release something and you think your leftover material is good enough to stand on its own as well separately, then hey, have at it, you know? We all loved Bo Burnham's Inside Outtakes, but Kurtis Connor's Python was not Untitled Remastered. My introduction to Kurtis Connor's stand-up was his B-Sides album, and you know, maybe I was a little too hard on him for that reason. So I'm gonna give Kurtis another chance, okay? And we're gonna do something that I haven't done before on this channel. I am going to watch Keep Busy here on Patreon, and every couple of minutes, I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. And once I'm done chiming in every 10 to 15 minutes or so, I will give a formal review of Kurtis Connor's Keep Busy. Now look, I'm not gonna play for you any of Kurtis Connor's special because it's on his Patreon behind a paywall, and you guys know how I feel about ripping Patreon content. But this is what a copyright-friendly, terms of service abiding by review looks like, for those of you who don't know. You can find Keep Busy on Kurtis Connor's Patreon, and you can find my comedy special, Trauma Bonding, right here on YouTube for free. Whoa, organic plug. Now my special is 30 minutes. I added a tight 30. Kurtis Connor's Keep Busy appears to be an hour and 18 minutes long. Now, if you're Chris Rock, if you're Dave Chappelle, by all means, hour 20. Whatever. Kurtis, I've already listened to your B-sides, brother. I'm real, it was tough to get through. Again, to Kurtis Connor and the fans, I am a fan of you, Kurtis. I love your YouTube, but I'm a stand-up first, then a YouTuber second. Maybe fourth, fifth, or sixth. All right, I'm gonna go rip a fat doink, and when we come back, we watch Kurtis Connor's Keep Busy. Off the rip, I haven't even gotten... How far am I? Hold on. He hasn't even told a joke yet. The crowd's already better. The venue looks great. The cinematography looks good. I am 10 seconds into this. This is already insanely better. I'm 20 minutes in. I got some notes. I don't know what notes to get into now and what notes to save to the end. This is better. This is more professionally put together. The material is better. Everything about this is so much better than Python. I still have some gripes. Not with the special, but with Kurtis Connor as a performer. More on that later. I'm gonna give it another 20 and see how I feel. Okay. I am 43 minutes into this guy, and I'm getting a little tired. I still have another 40 minutes, another 35 minutes. I have so many thoughts. It's like some of these jokes are good. I just wish they were told by a better comedian. And I tell you what, because this is a bit of a trudge, I'm gonna finish this up and I'll give a full review, okay? Sorry if I didn't really milk that retention mechanism longer. I'm all business, no algorithm. Okay, give me 5 seconds. I'll give you my full thoughts on Kurtis Connor's Keep Busy. Okay. I watched it. I finished it. Oh, it's done. Oh, where's my notes? Folks! I'm gonna start off by saying things that are good. I'm gonna be nice, okay? Lighting, editing, cinematography. Better, professional, just good, just very, very good. The production on this was functional, dare I say, professional. I won't say exceptional, it got the job done. But damn it, is this thing well put together? The material is better. It's not great, it's fine, but it's better. The subject matter of this special is, you know, a lot less toothless. There's a lot more teeth than in Python. Again, before when I reviewed Python, I didn't know it was the B-sides. Now that I get a sense of what the A-sides look like, yes, there's more substantive subject matter here. The first half, we were pretty much talking exclusively about the pandemic, which is fine. This was filmed in 2023. 2022, we were still technically coming out of lockdown. And he even makes an excellent point in his special that's actually a very good joke. It was actually my favorite joke of the whole special that he ruined with his meandering delivery. When trying to justify him doing COVID material in 2023, he makes the joke / point. I mean, 9/11 was how long ago? We don't shut the fuck up about that. Do you see how quickly I just told that joke? That's a great joke. It didn't lose anything from me telling it to you in less than 10 seconds. It took Kurtis Connor like a whole minute to get through that point. And that's my issue with the entire special. The material in the special is better, but you are still combating a meandering stage presence, a meandering delivery. Meandering is the word that's most appropriate. You'll either repeat the premise, or there's a lot of dead air, or just get to it. Like, these setups are not that complex. And are you spoon-feeding the audience information, or are you doing stand-up with training wheels on? What did I write down here? Kurtis Connor does stand-up, not like a stand-up, but like a guy at a party who thinks they're really... This is really mean. But like a guy at a party that thinks he's really funny and interesting, but tells you a really long-winded story that never really goes anywhere. And halfway through the story you go, what was the point of the story? This special is an hour and 20 minutes long. I could do this entire special in 20 minutes. And that's not me, rap god and Eminem at you, okay? That's me sucking out all the dead air from this thing, of him just long pauses, not getting to it, repeating himself. One of the more positive things I wrote, like one of the first things I wrote even, was that it looks like he's using negative space in a more calculated and purposeful way. And at first I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, yes, look at that comedic mechanism he's using correctly. But as it went on, if a joke benefited from his anti-charisma, if a joke benefited from him telling it a little meekish, that joke was improved. But that goes for like maybe 15% of the material. The other 85% of the time, I'm like, oh my God, get to the point. I see these punchlines coming from a mile away, and he's like, just wait. I'll give you the punchline, just wait. And I go, I know, I've heard 2% of your premise. I know your punchline already. I'm done filming, but I had another thought. You know the phrase word economy? Like Taylor Tomlinson's an example of somebody with really, really tight word economy. Like if Taylor Tomlinson's word economy was like a city, it'd be like New York, where you got so much stuff all packed into such a small little place, but it's so efficient, you know? Kurtis Connor's word economy is like a barren rural town where it's just miles of nothing, but there's like a cool bar over there that's running out of business. This was worth recording before going to bed, right? Like the premise. Oh, can we stop talking about COVID? It's like 9/11 was how long ago? Like he could have taken that so many different, if he spoke a little quicker, if he spoke with less dead air, if he got to the point, and if he attacked the point with that fervor, he doesn't have to, I know I'm a lot. I go, blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying do that. But like imagine Louis C.K. given that premise. Be like, COVID was like over 1 million people. When 9/11 was like 2,000 shitty fucking people. Honestly, if 9/11 happened today, this is such a Louis C.K. joke. He'd be like, if 9/11 happened today, no one would give a shit. Everyone would be looking at their phones going, whatever, it's like 2,000 people, who gives a shit? Like 50% of the country doesn't even care about COVID. 50%, could you imagine if 50% of the country didn't care about 9/11? This is such a Louis C.K. joke. I just took a Kurtis Connor premise and Louis C.K'd it up. And it's a great joke. I wish someone else told it. I wrote down right here that it is actually really surprising and refreshing to see Kurtis Connor get a vaguely political. He starts dunking on anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers a little bit. He did a Justin Trudeau blackface joke. We've all heard it. But his COVID material, his political material, his dunking on anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers, it almost feels too easy. You know what I mean? Like, anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers are such an easy target because they're stupid and easily manipulated. I often view hardcore conservatives, people with low media literacy, people who get tricked by fake news. A lot of hate lifted from my heart when I just started viewing them as disabled. It's like, of course they think that way. They got disabilities, man. Lay off. Look, that is a joke. I'm empathetic to a fault. I don't encourage conservative ideology. But Kurtis Connor up there for like 10 minutes just laying into how dumb and ugly anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers are. It makes me like, all right, lay off. They had enough. Like before I knew it was an anti-vax joke, when he did that bit about bears, about like how they just live in dens or whatever, I didn't know he was barely getting through the setup for 2 minutes straight. He was talking about bears so long, I wrote down jokes that should have been in Python. Bears. But then, the joke eventually became a parallel between when bears go hibernating, there's not a bunch of other bears that are like, dude, I don't even believe in the cold. Which is a funny anti-mask, anti-vax joke. But again, do you see how quickly I just told you that joke? It didn't take me 5 minutes to tell you that joke. Like when I watch Kurtis Connor tell a joke and it's good, if he actually makes me laugh, I go, oh, good job. Oh, hey, look at you, bud. Hey. But if a comedian that I've been following for a long time, that's a traditional touring comedian, if they were to tell the same joke, I'd be like, ugh, that's a bad one. And that's because I'm giving Kurtis Conner here more credit for being a YouTuber first and a stand-up second. Because if you're a fan of Kurtis and you went to go see him live and this was the show that you saw live, this is a fantastic show. I'm reviewing this harshly, strictly from a stand-up lens. Is this a stand-up special I would recommend to my friends as like, dude, you gotta watch this guy's stand-up, it's so great? No. But if you're a fan of Kurtis's YouTube and you have no idea what stand-up is, what Kurtis did manage to do is take what his audience loves about his YouTube persona, because he's just being himself on YouTube and he's just being himself on stage. But this can have pros and cons, because while maybe his built-in audience is very, very satisfied with seeing the person that they watch on YouTube do a new medium they're not familiar with, and oh, cool, it's got enough of the familiar thing that I like, while in this new form that's not too different from his YouTube. But as a stand-up fan, I watch this and I go, this is just like his YouTube stuff. You know, his stage presence doesn't exactly scream, I'm live on stage. He's not feeding off of the room. He's not performing. He's talking. He's conversating with the audience as if you were conversating with a camera, because that's what he's used to. He's used to sitting here in his room, talking to the camera. You know how hard it is to go off of it. I've been going off of stage my entire life. That's why I'm so fucking much all the time. And when I was doing the YouTube thing, first starting out, you know how awkward it is to sit here and just talk to a camera, just be comfortable talking to this? It's bizarre and alien. I hate it. But that's Kurtis Conner's bread and butter. That's fun to say. All of Kurtis's comedic muscles come from doing YouTube. And look, I know he did stand-up before, and I know he does stand-up, okay? But what has he done more of, and what made him famous? Okay! Off my dick, comment section. No, is Kurtis Conner's Keep Busy a quality stand-up special? I don't think so. I think it's fine. It's inoffensive. If you're a fan of Kurtis Conner and you saw this live, would you be satisfied? Absolutely. Yes. And I mean that earnestly and complimentary. And if you're a Kurtis Conner fan who didn't get a chance to see him live, but you were curious on whether or not $8 was worth it to watch this on his Patreon, I would say, if you're a fan of Kurtis, give it a watch. It is really cool and interesting to see YouTubers, people I know in this medium, try a different medium. And Kurtis isn't unfamiliar with stand-up, obviously. But if you're more of a fan of stand-up and want to see Kurtis on stage doing his thing for an hour and some change, then yes, go to Kurtis Conner's Patreon and watch Keep Busy. Like on Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score, I gave a Python a 4 out of 10. As a stand-up fan, I would have to give this a 5. But it's closer to a 4.5 than a 5.6. But audience review, I wouldn't be surprised if the people who knew Kurtis enough to go out of their way to purchase this and watch it and consume it, they would give it an 8 out of 10. There you go, little Rotten Tomatoes, a 4 out of 10 critics, 5 out of 10 critics, 8 out of 10 audience choice. Now, what are my qualifications to review Kurtis Conner's Keep Busy? Well, for one, I also have a mullet and a mustache, and I'll be seeing him at the next gathering. It'll be the first one Noah Samson won't be at, and he's dearly missed. And two, I've been doing stand-up for 10 years, and I also have a special right here on YouTube for free. Whoa, what the hell? It's called Trauma Bonding. You can see it on my channel, as well as other videos about stand-up comedy and theory and all that jazz. Leave a comment on something you want me to talk about, whether it's a stand-up comedy review or a video essay about something stupid going on in the industry. And just like in my comedic delivery video, my light died as I was doing the outro. Listen, whatever blue-haired, witchy, fucking Polly Brooklyn lady put a curse on me, can you reverse it, please? Doing the rest of the outro like this, can't stop me. If you want to become a member here on YouTube or become a member on my Patreon, you get access to, this is so silly, get access to early content, exclusive content, and priority with community engagement. What's going on? If you want to help keep my lights on, then like and subscribe. All that jazz. I appreciate you. The fuck?